Hi, hello, I'm Sam Harrison. I read, review, and discuss fantasy and science fiction books. Today, we are going through the recap of everything that I read in May. So, May was a pretty crazy month for me. As you may or may not know, my wife and I had another baby. She was born on May 29th, I think. Oh, yeah, of course, 29th. She was born on May 29th. And was not due until middle of June. So I had plans to pre-record a ton of stuff for the channel to make sure that the 5 videos a week was kept up. But unfortunately, I did have to take 2 days off just for paternity, just like getting everything sorted at home, and just really didn't have time to record and edit anything. So I do have some pre-baby videos recorded that are not edited, and they're a little bit more, they have a little bit more editing work to do, and some of them are scheduled stuff. So what we're going to do today is we're going to run through everything that I read in May. We're going to run through how the channel performed, what I'm reading now, and then what I'm reading next. So the videos that were basically missed last week were that week's Wandering In chapter, and I actually was planning on putting that one up pretty much straight away as soon as the channel came back live on Monday, but the chapter that I have to read for the Wandering In is so long that I just haven't had time to read it, honestly, because dad life. So what we're going to do now is I've put up the Fires of Heaven video review. Today's going to be the May recap, and then tomorrow and possibly Thursday so there will be a Wandering In episode this week, and it will be the mega chapter. And then I have a really fun video coming out, which is a collaboration with Ross and Laura from Harley's Books. It could be my last collaboration for a while because, being a dad. So what we should probably start doing is stop faffing about and get down to the books. So I read 4 books last month. I read Demon in White by Christopher Rocchio. I read The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. I read Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, and I read The Fires of Heaven by Robert Jordan. So all 4 of those traditionally published. We have 2 sci-fi, 1 fantasy. I don't know why I thought The Tainted Cup was sci-fi. Of the lot, I think my favourite was Demon in White. Demon in White and Fires of Heaven were both excellent, but I feel like Demon in White, it was basically a 5 out of 5 with no notes. There was nothing where I was like, oh, I wish this had been shorter, or this had, had less focus or whatever. Whereas Fires of Heaven was a really fantastic book where there was basically one story element where I was like, I'm not that interested in what's going on with this group of people. So apologies, I've got a bit of a cough, so I'm going to have to keep drinking during this video. And I know if you're into ASMR drinking sounds, here we go. So, Demon in White was my favourite book. I rated Demon in White a 5-star, and then Tainted Cup and Annihilation were both books that actually I didn't really like to begin with, and I almost DNF'd The Tainted Cup. I had DNF'd Annihilation years ago when I first tried reading it, but then this time I was like, it's a short book, I'm a much quicker reader now, I'm just going to power through, and if I hate it, it'll be an interesting review video. But actually it really, really turned me around, and I really enjoyed it. I basically previously had read like 1 and a bit chapters, and this time read obviously the whole thing, but basically just past that like section where I'd stopped reading was much, much more interesting. So yeah, Annihilation and Tainted Cup were both really good, and looking forward to more stories in those universes. So for Annihilation, that series has continued, and I had the 2 sequels, and Tainted Cup, there will be future books in that series. I think there's a lot of potential, but there's also the worry that it will go the same way that The Empire of the Wolf went, where the first book was very, very like contained and interesting because of this kind of like small town setting, and then when the world the stories took the setting, then the world the story took place in expanded, it 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 pulled the focus away from the characters in a way that I wasn't in love with, and I can see that happening in Tainted Cup. There's still a lot of really interesting questions and plot threads dangling from that first book, whilst it has also wrapped up enough to be a satisfying ending. So yeah, Tainted Cup I really enjoyed. Annihilation, as I said, I will be reading the next books in the series. I don't know when. Obviously, over the summer, I have 1 billion SPFBO books to read. So whilst I have been alternating fantasy sci-fi for the past, God, however many months, I don't know whether I'll be able to keep that up, simply because I need to read these fantasy books. And maybe what we will do is at some point I'll do a like binge of all these SPFBO books. I don't know. I've been planning, so I've got 5 books assigned, right? And I've been planning on reading the first chapter of all of those books as part of a video and then discussing them with you guys. So basically read the chapter and then come back to you and say like, oh, I liked this about it, I liked that about it. And then based on reading those chapters, decide the order in which I'm going to read them, or whether there are any that I'm not going to read. So if you're interested in that kind of video, please let me know. I think it'll be really fun. Then The Fires of Heaven, I started halfway through the month on the 16th of May, and I finished it on the 31st of May. I unfortunately had started to prep for baby arriving, for Alice, my daughter. But what I did was prep a lot of things like, well, last time when we had Peter, my son, I spent like 400 hours playing the latest Pokemon game up at night with a baby. And I was like, well, I need to have a paternity leave game, because if I'm really, really tired, a book, unfortunately, no matter how good the book is, will send me to sleep. So I was like, right, time to get a paternity leave game together. And I then spent like way too much time researching, playing, and trying to decide on what my paternity leave game was going to be. So that meant that The Fires of Heaven ended up taking a lot longer than I anticipated. And I also saw a few movies as well, which took time out of my reading time. So I went to see Furiosa, and I went to see The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And I can't remember if I saw anything else in May. Usually, I saw The Fall Guy. I usually see at least a movie on my birthday, but I can't remember what I saw this year. Anyway, so yeah, decent movie month. Furiosa, sadly, was a bit disappointing for me. I was expecting it to be like my movie of the year, but I still think that's probably Godzilla -1. Anyway, let's get back to books. So yeah, Fires of Heaven, absolutely loved it. You'll see the video review went up yesterday. This video is going to be kind of late because I am recording it at 8:30. And the intention is to record it, edit it, post it like immediately. So it will be out today, but it'll probably be a little late. So yeah, book of the month, as I said, Demon in White. Now, what am I reading in June? So as you may have seen, I'm not doing TBRs for June, July, August, so that I can be a bit more flexible with these SPFBO books, and also to just kind of experiment with mood reading again. Because I haven't mood read ever since starting the channel, really, because I've been always doing my monthly TBRs. But I think that some mood reading will be quite fun, and obviously my life is going to be a little bit all over the place over the summer, as I'll have a 4.5-year-old at home and a newborn baby. So might not be sleeping very well, might be struggling through my days. So who knows how much reading I'm going to get done. So I felt it was important to prioritize these SPFBO books and to give my schedule as much freedom as possible to read them. I may still try and alternate fantasy and sci-fi, but it might be that I read things like sci-fi short stories or short story collections. I know that, for example, the next thing I need to read in Sunniter is Tales of the Sunniter Volume 2, so that might be something that I pick up sometime in the future. Maybe I'll even do like a sci-fi comic or something, or a sci-fi manga. Not that I'm big into discussing comics and manga on this channel, because people are honestly not interested, but that's fine if you come to me for books and book discussion, and that's what the channel's primarily about. Anyway, speaking of the channel, so we do have some channel updates. You may see that I have changed the name of the channel from simply being Sam Harrison to being Sam Harrison SFF Book Reviews and Discussion. This is purely to help the discoverability of the channel. So while the channel has grown massively beyond my expectations, that growth has slowed right down. So few weeks recently, we've had single digit of channel growth over the week. And I measure my subscriber growth from Monday to Monday. And one week recently, we only got like 6. We didn't even gain a subscriber every day. We only got like 6 or something subscribers in that week. And I think, no, 8 is the lowest I've got. So, don't know. But since I have changed the channel name, which was like literally yesterday or the day before, since I've changed it, I've got like 6 subscribers. So hopefully that channel name change is kind of making it more clear to people what the channel's about if they come across a video. So it's now called officially Sam Harrison SFF Book Reviews and Discussion. I went for SFF because that's kind of a known short name for science fiction fantasy. And also there's a character limit on YouTube, and I was up against it. So I want to make it clear as well that it's not just reviews, because I really enjoy the discussions that we have about books on this channel. So either between me and you guys in the comments, or with other booktubers like Ross and Laura and Matt from Baskin the Story, and other people that I've interviewed like Andrew Watson. And we also have a ton of people who want to come on the channel that have not done it yet. So I know Philip Chase and I have been talking about him coming on the channel, and Joe Byrne, who wrote JCM Byrne. Joe is his first name. JCM Byrne, who wrote Shadow of Hyperion, which is what I'm currently reading and absolutely loving. This has been an absolute banger to start off June with. It's been such an easy read. I've been having a lot of fun with it. And I feel like the universe is now at the point where there's like all these returning characters and these mysteries and this fun stuff going on. We'll talk more about this when I finish it. I have, according to the Kindle, 3 hours of reading left. But God knows where I will get that with, a tiny baby. Anyway, and also I have to read that massive Wandering Inn chapter because I owe it to the Wandering Inn fans to get that done. Hopefully next week I will have time to batch record, as I had planned, all of the remaining chapters from this volume of The Wandering Inn, and then I can slowly release those over June and July. That is the plan. We will see how best laid plans and how they survive first contact with the enemy, aka 2 children. So yeah, really enjoyed my reading time this month. And my daughter has not been as difficult and very early baby as my son was. My son basically would only stop crying when I was stood up and pacing around the room, so I couldn't really do anything but like watch movies. So I watched a lot of movies with him, but with Alice, I have been able to actually do a lot of reading. I read for like 2 hours while she slept on me today and had a great time. So yeah, I've also, I'll just grab my copy because it's literally right here. I have started reading The Will of the Many by James Islington. This is just the hardback first edition, I'll have you know, apparently. So I have started reading The Will of the Many, and the reason why I have started the next book before finishing Shadow of Hyperion, which I never usually do, is because Shadow of Hyperion doesn't have an audiobook, and I had like 3 hours of audiobook time on Sunday that would have just been completely wasted if not wasted, I would have used it to like listen to a podcast or something. But I really wanted to be a bit productive and to get this book started. I've been looking forward to it for a really long time. I feel like the books on my TBR that I could read right now, but currently I'm not. The books I'm like the most excited to read are this and The Silver Blood Promise, and I'm literally looking at both. But I am reading this first. I probably will not read The Silver Blood Promise before I finish all my SPFBO books, because the priority is going to be SPFBO, Wheel of Time. So you guys know how it goes. I might ask Matt maybe to take a break or something on the Wheel of Time after Lord of Chaos, so that or maybe even for Lord of Chaos, so just so that we can get these SPFBO books read, because I want to make sure that I'm fulfilling my obligation, because I said to Philip I will help him out and I will read these books, and I want to make sure that I'm reading them. Then we can get back to other ongoing series on the channel. But yeah, speaking of the channel, in the last 28 days, we've gained 68 subscribers, which is apparently normal. So apparently the channel usually gains around 60. So that's been a really nice increase to see. It's nice to see all the green arrows on my YouTube back end. We have 7.3k views, which is fantastic, and about almost 700 watch hours. So that's something I'm really happy with. One of the things that I love the most about my channel is how high the watch hours are. I have loads of friends who have already hit 1,000 subscribers, but are still waiting for their 3,000 watch hours. Whereas, I say their 5,000 watch hours to come in to be able to monetize the channel. Whereas I've already got 4,000 watch hours, I think. Let's have a look. Oh, sorry, you need to get 4,000, and I have 3,200, so I'm well on the way. My watch hours are actually like 10 or 20% further on than my subscriber growth in terms of how it needs to grow. YouTube has offered me the option to do channel memberships, but currently I don't feel like I have anything to offer in return for those memberships. Like, I don't do enough live stuff, and I don't have the capacity to do bonus videos. So currently I'm not thinking about doing YouTube memberships. I will eventually, when I get to a place where I have the time and energy to be able to offer bonus extra stuff in the same way that I would if I was doing a Patreon. I think I'll probably just keep it all through YouTube, 'cause easy then, isn't it? Anyway, that is an extremely far distant thought. If you for some reason feel like you would need to give me money, there is an Amazon wishlist in the video description. You can buy me a book, or you could donate to the Birmingham Community Healthcare charity, which I did a fundraiser for earlier this year, which I would prefer. So make a donation instead of buying me a book. But if you feel like you have to do something for me, buy me a book. Next, most popular video of the month. It's probably, let's have a look. So it's gonna be the Kindle Basic review, I would imagine, if that was this month, or was that April? Oh, that was April. So that Kindle Basic review done really well. I've got 1.7k views. The video that I found the most fun to make this month was the how I make booktube videos. But then I've had a few videos that people have really enjoyed, like top 5 tips to read more books. I really enjoyed making that one. and my Broken Binding book haul. I got my first books from the Broken Binding. Yeah, it's been a great month. I think my most popular video of the month is actually that Broken Binding book haul. So people are obviously big fans. And I can't single out a particularly poorly performing video. Yeah. Can't really single out anything that was particularly poorly performing. But yeah, I had a great month on the channel. I had a great month making videos. I don't think there's too much to talk about in terms of other stuff for the channel. So I've kind of teased some interesting videos coming up soon, like the one with the guys from Hardy's Books. If people enjoy that video, I will look to try and recruit other booktubers to do the same kind of format. Basically it's kind of a big themed book recommendation show, but with a bit of a twist that I haven't really seen on booktube. So I'm hoping people enjoy it. In terms of upcoming reading, currently I am reading Shadow of Hyperion and Will of the Many. I should finish Shadow of Hyperion pretty soon. And once I've finished that, then it'll be full steam ahead on Will of the Many. And then after that, I think I'll be looking at some SPFBO books. What else did I want to run through with you guys? I think that's everything, actually. I hope you really enjoyed the videos that are coming out, because I feel like there's some really good stuff coming up that I've really enjoyed making, especially the video with Ross and Laura. It's a lot of fun. We laughed a lot making that video. Yeah, so if you like this video, give it a like. If you want to chat to me about anything that I've been reading, or let me know how your May went, what you've been reading, ask me any questions you have, please do so in the comments down below. I answer every single comment, usually within like a day as well, so it's not like you're going to be waiting around forever. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe, because we're literally 2 away from 650 as I record this. So I'd love to have 650 subscribers when I wake up tomorrow. That'd be cool as hell. Thanks so much for watching the channel. Thanks so much for bearing with me while I had 2 days off last week, and I will speak to you tomorrow.